So today I thought I'd do a podcast on why the Dallas Mavericks actually got it so wrong. And when I say the Dallas Mavericks actually got it so wrong, of course, I'm talking about Nico Harrison, the general manager of the Mavericks, who had the bright idea to apparently sit down with the NBA version of Rob Lowe, Rob Pelinka, and have a cup of coffee about 4 weeks ago, which ultimately led to the trade heard around the world, which brought Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and just one first-round draft picks. We will also get into some of the fun conspiracy theories that are out there. I'm going to debunk most of those. That is the big topic on the NBA Rundown today. Listen, if you are new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you like the video, then damn it, go ahead and like the video. Now, this deal certainly shocked everybody, including myself. Nobody saw this deal coming. There was no way you could have looked in the Magic 8 Ball and actually seen Luka Doncic about to be traded to the Los Angeles Lakers as an option. So for this all to go down sort of the way it went down, and I covered what the Lakers actually gave up, which was not that much when you consider they actually have brought in an icon. And I don't use the word icon lightly often. You know, when you think of icons in the world of entertainment, there are those icons that come to mind. You know, you wouldn't say Richard Gere is necessarily an icon, but you might say Robert De Niro is. So at the end of the day, when you think about Luka Doncic and where he is at this stage of his career and what he has accomplished so far leading up to this point for the Dallas Mavericks, he had absolutely hit icon status. Now, I did a video a couple days ago and I talked about Luka, being the third or fourth best player in the world. And that's really where we're at. I mean, it's Jokic, it's Giannis, and then it's Luka or SGA. And those are the bottom line. Now, SGA hasn't actually gone to an NBA Finals yet. So for Luka to actually be where he's at the very least, going to an NBA Finals, to be an international superstar, to start playing professional basketball when he was still a young kid, which is what Luka did. To say that the Dallas Maverick fans are upset would probably be calling that an understatement. And the reason I bring that up is simply to say that the Dallas Mavericks fans know exactly what they lost, but apparently Nico Harrison, the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, apparently just doesn't get it. Apparently, the ownership group, as well as the Dallas Mavericks organization, was surprised by the outrage. Now, I'm outraged that they're actually surprised by the outrage. It makes no sense. Of course, there is going to be significant backlash. Now, I could play for you countless videos of Dallas Maverick fans saying they are done with the Dallas Mavericks and they're no longer going to support them because of this particular deal that went down. I've talked about the X's and O's before since this deal went down with Anthony Davis. I absolutely love Anthony Davis on this basketball team. And I absolutely love the fact that Max Christie is also on this Dallas Mavericks basketball team. Outside of the Mavericks actually winning maybe 2 championships in a row, I think there will always be salt in the wounds of the Dallas Maverick fans. You know, back in the day when Jerry Jones actually took over the Dallas Cowboys and eventually, pretty quickly, actually got rid of Tom Landry, the legendary head coach that wore the cowboy hat, there was a significant amount of the Dallas Cowboy fan base that refused to ever support the Dallas Cowboys again. we are actually in a modern day similar situation with this Dallas Mavericks fan base. Now, in terms of some of the conspiracy theories that I'm sure you've all heard about at this point, one of them has the Dallas Mavericks ownership group actually secretly trying to drive down the value of the team so they can actually move the team to a different city. That city, of course, being Las Vegas. Now, all of this sounds very familiar to the actual plot of the great baseball movie Major League, trying to move the Indians out of Cleveland because of poor ownership to Tampa. It was the plot of the Major League movie, one of the greatest baseball movies ever made, especially from a comedy perspective. So for that to actually be a true conspiracy, there would actually have to be some documents or some voicemails or some emails or some text messages found from the ownership group to back that up. I seriously doubt that's what this ownership group is actually up to. And in fact, if you look at the track record of the new ownership group, they're in Dallas. They bought the team because they actually believed they were going to be able to influence an election that would have, if it had gone their way, allowed for sports gambling to actually occur in Texas. Now, that got voted down, and so it will be another 2 years before they're able to get it back on the ballot again. The dream of the new ownership group was simply to have a casino-style resort with a basketball arena in the middle of it. Hey, look, we've all got dreams, and I've got to say, as far as dreams go, that's a pretty cool dream if you were to ask me. That being said, I think it's a ridiculous thing that the ownership group was basically thinking that they were going to do this simply so that they could thumb their nose at the fan base, drive down attendance, and then prove to the NBA that the fourth largest market in the world, or at least in North America, is not a viable location for an NBA franchise. It's ridiculous. Nobody is moving from Dallas to Las Vegas, especially businesses are not doing that. It's the other way around, quite frankly. So I'm sure Vegas is going to get a NBA franchise anyways. Adam Silver's basically guaranteed it at this point. And we know that LeBron James wants to have his hand in that cookie jar if he's able to. So those are some of the conspiracy theories that have been floated. I think the real answer to this question, and we've all heard about the weight issues and trying to get Luka to lose some weight and eat better and practice more and all of those things. And to all of that, I say, for God's sakes, he took you to an NBA championship last year. You didn't win it, but he took you there. You were 3 games away from a ring with Luka Doncic, out of shape, maybe, I don't know. My favorite line, I mentioned this the other day, was from Ryan Russillo, who actually said, and I quote, I don't care if Luka Doncic is smoking cigarettes running down the basketball court, basically weighing 370 pounds. I thought it was a great line and basically sort of simplifies the truth between what a good basketball player is, what a bad basketball player is, and what an icon actually is. It is clear to me that Luka Doncic was absolutely an icon in Dallas. And if you think he was an icon in Dallas, wait till you see what is actually going to happen in the City of Angels. Los Angeles is a basketball city. It always has been. At the end of all of this, the big issue here was most likely Nico Harrison, the general manager who no longer had to deal with Mark Cuban and was given the authority to actually do what he wanted to do. So for him to actually make the decision and put it on his shoulders that it was his call to actually get rid of Luka Doncic, an icon in Dallas, and ship him off at just age 25 to Los Angeles is most likely career suicide. It's most likely something that he'll never be able to come back from. What other NBA team would actually hire him outside of Vlade Divac's Sacramento Kings? So at the end of it all, or I should say at the end of the day, I feel bad for the Dallas Maverick fans. I feel bad because they had their superstar icon player ripped away before he even hit his prime. All right, I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on this. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, I'm Dave DeVaugh, wishing you all a tremendous rest of your sports viewing day.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for